So now let's try to talk about Spring Boot, guys. Spring Boot is a project is built on top of a Spring framework. I'll send you the notes, guys, please. Spring Boot. What is the use of Spring Boot, guys? What are the problems you're facing with a Spring framework? Can you explain anyone? What are the problems you identified working with a Spring framework? Can you tell me, guys, what are the problems you identified? Anyone? Are you identified any problems, guys, working with Spring framework, please? What is that? Maven configuration. Yes or no? The version configuration. There is a major issue, guys. So the same version is required, ma'am. Other than same version, for example, core model, if you choose 5.0, then context model, if you choose like 3.0, then issues will come, madam. Yes or no? There is a major issue. There is a major problem working with the Spring. Then auto configuration. Automatic configuration will not be there. Dispatcher servlet we should be configured. Dispatcher servlet we should configure in XML file. Yes or no? That is a major issue. Then embedded server support is not there. External server configuration we had to perform. Yes. And predefined database support is not there. Embedded database support is not there. So externally, we should be convert a database software if you want to work with that. Like this, some of the problems we can identify working with the Spring framework. So a Spring Boot is trying to make a simplification of your development, and like a standard application, web application, and distributed application like this. Spring Boot is a project, is a built on top of the Spring framework. It provides faster way to set up, configure, and run simple and web applications on a time. Spring Boot is a project is built on top of Spring Framework. It provides faster way to set up, configure, and run simple and web applications. It is Spring Boot is like a one approach to develop rapid applications. Generally using Spring Boot, we can try to create a standard application, web applications, and even distributed application, and we can just run because it needs minimal Spring configuration. Generally, if you are talking about Spring Boot, guys, let me try to write one simple one. I'll send you the notes. Please focus. Spring Boot like this. Spring Framework plus embedded HTTP servers, then minus XML configuration. XML, I can say bean configuration, right? A configuration or configure XML with configuration, or I think it is XML configuration like this, or at the rate of configuration. So all these are we can avoid, madam. XML configuration, right? Next are at the rate of configuration like this. Good. So we can remove this external configuration or other configuration working with a Spring Boot, guys. Are you clear? Yes. Spring Boot is a combination of Spring Framework and embedded servers in Spring Boot. There is no requirement for XML configuration. It decreases the effort of the developer. One more time. Spring Boot is the combination of Spring Framework and embedded servers in Spring Boot. There is no requirement for XML configuration. It decreases the effort of the developer. Then one more time. Spring Boot is the combination of Spring Framework and embedded servers in Spring Boot. There is no requirement for XML configuration. It decreases the effort of the developer. Spring Boot is a combination of Spring Framework and embedded servers in Spring Boot. There is no requirement for XML configuration. It decreases the effort of the developer. Why should we use a Spring Boot framework? The question. What is the advantage of Spring Boot? So generally, using a Spring Boot framework, Spring Boot, we can simplify your application development, and we can try to create a standalone application. It can be it provides embedded HTTP server support like Tomcat, Jetty, and Atto. Provides a production-ready features such as matrix, health checks, and externalized configuration. There is no requirement for XML configuration. There is no requirement for XML configuration. It also minimized writing multiple boilerplate code. The code that has to be included in many places with little or no alteration, XML configuration, and annotation. It also minimized writing multiple boilerplate code, more than see huge code, sir. Minimizing Spring Boot is trying to minimizing, simplifying a code. So you're not only to write a huge code, so simplify say that. XML configurations and annotations and everything it trying to removing. It increasing the productivity and reduce the development time. It provides auto configuration support and embedded databases like Derby, H2, like this. So what are the things you can try to highlight, madam? Can you tell me anyone, please? So I'll send the notes, sir. You're not required to write anything. So Spring Boot, using Spring Boot, yes, we can simplify using Spring Boot, rapid application development. We can try to make a simplification and develop simplification of the development, and it creates standalone and Spring application that can be started using Java, embedded HTTP servers such as Tomcat Jetty, embedded HTTP servers such as Tomcat and Jetty provides production-ready features such as matrix, health checks, and externalized configuration. There is no requirement for XML configuration. There is no requirement for XML configuration. It is increasing the productivity and reduce the development time. And it provides auto configuration support. And one more thing is auto configuration support. It means that so inbuilt the people is configured everything and provide to us. For example, dispatch servlet. Dispatch servlet is configured in web.xml. But if you're working with Spring Boot, we are not required to work hard. Then dispatch servlet is configured. Spring Boot is a web module itself. Then embedded databases like Derby, H2. Yes, these are the embedded databases we can inbuilt is trying to provide, sir. This is the way the people is trying to these are the main advantages of Spring Boot. What is the main goal of Spring Boot, guys? Anyone? So seeing of this, can you tell me now what is the main goal of Spring Boot in the
Reduces the configuration, includes
it
embedded
avoid
HTTP
yes,
servlet.
avoid a lot. And one more thing is avoid XML configuration. The first point, no doubt, avoid the writing lots of import statement. Yes, no doubt. Avoiding defining more annotations configuration. Provide optimization development approach. And the main goal of Spring Boot is to reduce the development unit test and integration test time. By providing or avoiding these options on Spring Boot framework, reduce the development time, developer effort, and increase the productivity. All these operations, these are the major goals. These are the main goals of Spring Boot. Are you clear, sir? Please. Yes. Let me show you then. Sir, that's it, sir. నేను తర్వాత మారుస్తానండి ఇది స్ప్రింగ్ టూల్ సూట్ So now, okay, yeah, that's it, man. This is the way. Create a Java project, create Maven project. You can do very well. Okay, we'll work on this. So even a Spring project, sir, we can try to work in two different approaches. One is using Spring Tool Suite and even with the source code in Java, and even we can create a project using Spring Tools IO package itself, and we can import it. I'll show you the practical. You'll understand, guys. So look at now. So one of the module I want to design, guys. I want one of the module I want to explain. Just now I explained you the what is the use of Spring Boot. Yes, I told you very clearly using Spring Boot. Yes, you can go and we can try to create we can try to create the web development. Yes, no doubt. And distributed application development. Yes, application development and standard application if you want it. So then what is the great feature of the Spring Boot? Auto configuration support. Next, um, avoiding a configuration conflicts, avoiding configuration conflicts, right? Embedded servers, embedded servers, and embedded databases like this. So even equitators like this. So this is the way. Yes, you can. So now these are the main features of the Spring Boot, guys. Even you can try to speak a little bit more. Now let me try to work with Spring Boot Data JPA. So first, let me try to understand how it works as Spring Boot Data JPA. So I think you remember, sir, Hibernate. Everyone, please. Are you remembered with Hibernate, please? So what is Hibernate? Hibernate is a ORM tool. Yes or no? Hibernate is a ORM tool, object relation mapping tool. Then now let me try to talk about Spring Boot Data JPA. Using Spring Data JPA can interact with database software to perform manipulations like insert, update, delete, and retrieval operation. Spring Boot JPA is a ORM tool, object relational mapping tool. Is it clear? What is JPA exactly is doing, Siva? So JPA is trying to interact in Spring Data JPA, guys. Spring Boot Data JPA interact with the database software to perform the manipulation like insertion, updation, deletion, retrieval operations, and predefined interfaces to perform persistent operation. Predefined interfaces to perform persistent operation. Predefined interfaces to perform persistent operations. Predefined interfaces to perform persistent operations. Predefined interfaces to perform predefined operations. Very good. One is code repository, code repository, like this. Second one, JPA repository, like this. Now, what is a code repository, guys? This interface provides predefined methods to perform create, update, and delete and retrieval operations. So code repository, so predefined interfaces to perform until to store the data in the database, we have two different interfaces are provided, guys, predefined interfaces. So in this interface, what exactly is doing? Using this interface methods, this interface, this interface provides predefined methods to perform create, update, delete, and retrieval operations. Are you clear? So it means I can insert, update, delete all these operations I to provide myself. JPA repository. What is JPA repository? Using this interface can perform CRUD operations. CRUD operations, paging and sorting, paging, and it means that we can try to perform sorting and pagination operation. You can try to perform. And curd repository only we can insert and delete and all these operations you can try to perform. JPA repository using this interface we can try to perform the curd operations line and a curd operations and what is the JPA repository? You can try to say using JPA repository interface having some methods to perform insertion, updation, deletion, retrieval operations and pagination and sorting operations. We can try to perform. This is the way you can try to use the answer. What is the predefined methods? I'll show you, sir. Wait. Is it clear this point, please? And it's the ORM tool, sir. Object relation mapping tool. You know that. The same story, sir. The story will not change. The ORM. Yes, same story. Are you clear, everyone, please? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, repository. Repository interface. Third repository. Repository interface. Paging and sorting interface. JPA repository like this. So curd repository interface extending repository interface, paging and sorting interface extending curd repository, then JPA interface extending page repository like this. So this is the hierarchy, sir. Now, who is providing implementation class? Implementation class is provided by Spring Framework. Perform, create, update, delete, and retrieval operations. Paging and sorting operations. Right. Next, perform, create, update, delete, and retrieval operations. Got it? Paging and sorting operations. Are you clear now? All these operations you can try to perform. So, I hope you understand now. Till now, sir, please, everyone. Otherwise, that is simple, guys, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
సింపుల్ చెప్తున్నానండి మీకు అది ఏదైనా వాకండి ఎందుకంటే ఆల్రెడీ మీకు తెలుసు ఓఆర్ఎం టూల్ అని సేమ్ ప్రిన్సిపల్ అండి ద టైం వేస్ట్ అవసరం లేదు రైట్ నా సార్ నేను చిన్న ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చిన్న పాయింట్ చెప్తానండి ఇన్ ప్రాజెక్ట్ నాకు ఇన్ డేటాబేస్ ఇన్ ప్రాజెక్ట్ ఇఫ్ యూ హ్యావ్ 10 tables how many entries required sorry గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవడమా ఇన్ డేటాబేస్ యూ హ్యావ్ one table how many entries are required, sir? One table if you have one entity. Gurtunda? 10 tables. Any entities kavali?
10 entities.
Right. 1,000 tables. Then how many entities? 1,000 entities. I hope you got a clarity now. In ORM, entity class mapped with database table. Are you clear now, everyone? Yes or no?
Sir.
In ORM, entity class mapped with database table. That's it. This is what you can try to perform, sir. Any questions, sir, please? Anyone? Ante 10 tables unte 10 table rayali. Now, sir, one thing. In my database table, assume that I have one table. Please focus. Student number, student name, student address. Then student number is required auto incrementation. Now tell me how many entities required now? Guys? Tell me, guys, How many entities required? Please.
One entity.
One entity. That's it, sir. Nothing is there. I hope you got it clarity now. Yes or no? Right.
Yes, sir.
See here. In Spring Boot application, step 1. Create Maven project. Create create a Spring Maven project. Spring Maven project. Maven project and add the dependencies. Add the dependencies. So what are the dependencies we can try to add? Spring data JPA and the Spring data JPA. These dependencies should be added. Okay. Step number 2. What is the next step number 2? Create a configuration file. What is step number 2? Create configure create configuration class. Create a configuration class. Create configuration properties in product application dot property file. So application dot property file. Let's try to write the configuration details.